Hi again, guys. So this is going to be our last video on how to do a passage analysis essay. Obviously, if you are working and these videos have not answered all of your questions, feel free to just shoot me an email and I will be happy to help you with whatever was not covered in all of these. Okay, so this is our last little bit. It's our conclusion of our essay. I know that we haven't talked about conclusions a lot throughout the year, and that's okay. I'm still not looking for the greatest conclusion in the world. It doesn't have to blow my mind. What you need to do is really just try to wrap up what your paper was saying and connect it to something larger or more universal that could apply to more novels than just the one that you read about this 6 weeks. So, just some basic overall general things to remember. You will probably want about 100 words for this if you are really trying to break down your essay that way to make sure you hit the minimum requirement of 750. I think this should be about 100 words, maybe a little bit longer would be okay, and that's probably going to come out to 3 to 4 sentences. Okay, what you need in a conclusion. A lot of the times people are going to say that you need some sort of restatement of your thesis, and if that helps you to organize yourself, then that would be fine. You can restate your thesis, but, and this is a big but, it cannot be the exact same words as your thesis. So find new words, so find synonyms, and vary your sentence structure. That means you'll have the same idea in your conclusion that you had in your thesis, but it's not going to sound hyper repetitive, okay? I am going to show you mine here in a second. I like to provide a little more context. You don't have to, but I like that. I just think it kind of makes the most sense. But the most important part of your conclusion is that you are going to end with a universal statement. And that means, universal means, can apply to multiple novels or situations in life. Okay. There are countless ways that you can write a conclusion. The way that I wrote mine is not necessarily the best or what will work for your paper, so keep that in mind as we look through mine here in a second. I've said it before, but I will say it again. The College Board is releasing a ton of incredibly helpful videos on their YouTube channel right now in order to help the seniors get ready for their AP Literature exam. They will be writing a prose passage analysis essay on that exam, which is similar to what you are doing in class right now. So if you go through and you look at all of those videos on YouTube, they are going to be invaluable to you. They will help you so much. And I'm sure there is a video on their channel about writing conclusions effectively that might be significantly more helpful than just this short little one that I'm going to go over with you right now. Okay, so let's look at my conclusion here. It says, after living through a cholera epidemic and severe economic crisis following the July Revolution of 1830, it is no wonder that Victor Hugo chose to highlight the depravity and despair of his beloved Paris in his masterpiece of French literature. Okay, so this first sentence is that context I was talking about. It puts the novel in the place of history. What was going on in France at the time that Victor Hugo was writing this novel, and why is it important? Les Miserables poignantly describes the atrocities of humanity in an attempt to explain the misery of all, regardless of situation in life. Though Hugo leaves room for the redemption of those willing to sacrifice themselves for others, it is clear that he possesses no sympathy or respect for the evil in the world, represented by the lascivious innkeepers, the Thénardiers, and as such, their story remains destitute and distressed even after the final pages. Okay? This long little bit is kind of like my thesis restated, but you can tell it's not my exact thesis. That's what I mean by that. And then my final sentence, I believe, is this damnation, which begins so profitably in the beginning of the novel, forces the Thénardiers to succumb to disease, dishonor, and desperation, demonstrating that greed and incivility inevitably cause people to fall into a life of irredeemable wretchedness. All right, and then this is the last little broader statement. It doesn't necessarily have to apply to Les Miserables, though it does. But this part right here, greed and incivility inevitably cause people to fall into a life of irredeemable wretchedness. That is a theme, and that can apply to not just Les Miserables, but so many other texts. So that's kind of how you want to leave your paper. You want your reader to think about, oh yes, I didn't think about how that could apply to my life, or how that could apply to the book that I'm currently reading. That's your end goal for your final statements in your conclusion. So again, this is not a perfect conclusion. I will be very honest with you. I'm not super great at writing conclusions because my mind just wants to keep giving information about the book, and I know that I need to kind of wrap that up. I'm not great at conclusions. But again, College Board is, and there are plenty of things on YouTube to help you there. If you are writing and you find yourself stuck, go ahead and send me over what you have so far, and I will be happy to look at it and give you some feedback to let you know if it's working or if you need to change a couple things. Okay, so that has been all of my videos for this practice passage analysis. I'd be happy to help you in any way that I can. Good luck writing your essays, guys.